I'm back in Isa's kitchen. Thank you for having me back here.
No problem. It's a big day today. We're having a Tesla light show. Thanks for organizing.
Welcome.
Yeah.
So hopefully no thunderstorms tonight. What we're going to talk about now is the thunderstorm of tweets talking about whether Tesla should advertise or not. So what do you think, Isa?
I'm one of the few, I believe, that I think it's time to advertise. In fact, I think we should already have advertised like a year ago. Because you don't want to wait until the sales have dropped before you start advertising. People keep asking me why I think, because all these years, I'm on the same boat as Elon. Like Elon doesn't need to advertise because the demand exceeds the production. But now we've seen that over the last, I would say 6 months, the demand actually, the production is going up so high, so much faster than demand. That's why you see I think almost 10 price cuts now. Maybe up to $10,000 per car, even more in some regions. So I believe advertising and to educate people about the advantages of Tesla is needed. Okay, let's talk about why I think that's the reason. Many Tesla owners and Tesla investors thinks that everyone knows everything they know about EVs, because people like you and me are obsessed about EVs.
True.
For the last 10 years. Right? I've been obsessed about EV sustainable future and the benefits of having an EV. A lot of people still, basic information like cost of ownership, right? A lot of people still don't understand that you might pay $5,000, $10,000 more for an EV.
Yeah.
Over the lifespan, you will make that money back. Just go and talk to the regular folks. They're still telling you all the EV myths, right? They're still repeating everything they don't know. They think they know about EVs, like it catches fire, which it doesn't. It does, but not as much as regular ICE cars.
So there's some nuance to this, right?
Yeah.
There's truth that when EVs catch fire, it may be harder to put out, but the incidence of fires on EVs, not just Tesla, is much lower.
Much lower.
In Tesla's impact report, 10 times lower than an ICE car.
Correct. So basically, when I talk about why I support advertising, it's not about the same kind of advertising that you see other cars do. They just throw out a 30-second, some beautiful girls or scenery, right? They like to use scenery, and then you have to show the beautiful cars, It's basically just branding for them. But I like to see Tesla do educational, maybe even 30-second spots is fine, but you concentrate on certain aspects of Tesla. Like, for example, you can brand it as the safest car, which it is.
Yeah.
Right? I think people are willing to pay $1,000, $2,000 more per car. We have actually seen this. We actually have record, I don't know if you guys remember. I still remember those days, parents and all will buy a Volvo, even though it looks like crap. It's a boxy car. Everyone knows it's a box. But we'll buy it because it's safer for my kids.
Yeah.
So I believe that there is an opportunity cost here. I was talking about TAM, right? Total addressable market for every price range of cars. So if you look at Tesla, it was $60,000, $50,000 to $60,000, right? And there is a total addressable market for that, and they already have hit that sometime in the first half of last year, because people don't forget that Tesla keep ramping up production. So it's not going to stay the same today. By the end of this year, there will be 30% more cars produced than last year. At least this is what they are telling us, right?
That's the mission.
That's what they told us last quarter, right? That they're going to produce about 1.8 million. Last year they did about 1.1, 1.3. So they're going to increase another 500,000 cars this year. And next year, if they're going to increase another 500,000, you're talking about another million cars, right? When they already reached the 10. That is the reason why you see they keep reducing the price. Because how do you increase the 10? It's either price or more people want to buy it at a higher price.
Yeah.
And if people are thinking that this is just an EV, a regular EV, then maybe the TAM is say okay, let's use an analogy. Let's say 1 million people is willing to pay $50,000 for a Tesla. But if more people know about the safety features or about why EVs are better in many ways, especially Tesla's advantages like software and all those. So the next time, these 1 million people who are able to afford $50,000 might increase to 1.5 million people. Because now that 1 million people have a conception of what an EV is and they're willing to pay this much. But if more people know, I think outside of our echo chamber, honestly,
Shout out to Tesla echo chambers.
Outside of our echo chamber, I've talked to so many people. Almost 9 out of 10 still repeating the EV myths. I have to keep telling them that these are all myths. That, for example, they're still worrying about charging. They still think your car will be trapped somewhere. You know, because the idea of charging, I think we talked about this before, is you literally don't have to go to a petrol station now. It's like charging your phone. You come home, you plug it in. It's only once a while that you're traveling long distance that you actually need to go to a supercharger, right? But vast majority of time, you actually save time on charging versus filling up your car, right? Now that I'm coming back to the TAM, right? My sister, which always see me tweeting about Tesla and all that, decided to go out and buy a BYD. Right? When Tesla already announced they're going to launch it.
Still, congratulations. That's one less ICE car.
Yeah, correct.
But
why? Because in her mind, it's an EV. An EV is an EV. She doesn't understand the advantages that Tesla has over other EVs. So for her, the only consideration is price, right?
Yeah.
So let's say if you can get a BYD for, we talk in US dollar terms, so it's easy. Let's say if the BYD is within $5,000 cheaper.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to buy the BYD, especially you convert to Malaysian ringgit or in countries, poorer countries, because that would be like 5,000 US dollar could be 25,000 ringgit.
Correct.
Right? So, but what if she understood that a Tesla is much safer and that the software won't go obsolete, right? That you could keep updating it. She might wait for the Tesla. So this is my point, right? So, and there's this argument I hear on the other side why Tesla doesn't need to advertise, is that you want to make the car more affordable. Okay, this is one of the arguments. By advertising, that advertising dollars can be used to reduce the cost of the price. But as with all arguments, I think there's some nuances to this argument. I agree, if you're going to spend several $1,000s per car, makes no sense to advertise. Give that discount to the people. But if you're only spending $100, $200 per car, I'll just give you an idea. I do a lot of, because I used to run my own business, so I understand about the advertising market. So if you look at Hollywood movies, I'm talking about major blockbusters like Marvel, Marvel and at the top of the top.
Avatar, John Wick 4.
Yeah. Basically, these are the billion-dollar movies that studios wants to reach maximum number of people because they spend $200 million on production and they will spend another $150 million on marketing. And for $150 million, you can go anywhere in the world and you'll see that movie plastered somewhere. You'll see it on TV ads. You'll see it on trailers in the movie itself, in the cinema itself. You see it on billboards. You'll see it on newspapers. For $150 million, you can plaster your ad the entire world. Okay, what is $150 million to Tesla? They spent $200 million on Bitcoin, right? Just like that. No, actually they spent billions. They lost $200 million on Bitcoin, just like that, right? So what is $150 million? It's nothing. If they're selling 1.5 million cars, this year they'll be selling 1.8. Minimum, they'll be selling 1.8.
Correct.
$100 a car, that's 180 million. If it's just $200 a car, that's what, 3.6 You know,
360
360 million.
Correct.
How much educating can you do with that?
Mm.
And if you are spending $200, you're expanding your TAM, potential buyers, you're doubling that.
Yes.
Potentially, Tesla will still need to keep reducing the price. But potentially, for $200 that you spend on ads per car,
Yeah.
you might be able to sell the car for $2,000 more.
Potentially.
Yeah,
Or at
potentially.
least sell more of the higher range mixes.
Yeah, because we are talking about selling every car that Tesla makes.
Yeah.
This whole argument about driving the cost down so they can sell every car they make is correct, except you don't have to reduce car by that much. So the difference between the $200 in ad spend and the $2,000 that they could sell the car for to clear out their inventory is an opportunity cost to Tesla.
True.
It's an extra $1,800 in profit,
True.
which then can be used for more educating and sell more cars, right? So for people who think that just word of mouth is enough, you have to ask yourself this question: why the hell is every single company in the world advertising? Why is Elon asking people to advertise on his Twitter, right? If it doesn't produce a return on investment. Obviously, anyone who has done business understands that you only advertise if it produces more return than you invested in.
That's right.
So if Tesla haven't even started trying this, how would they know? And just by looking at so much misconception out there, especially even just about EVs in general.
I think for a lot of Tesla investors, fans, and bulls, it's a matter of when and not if the Tesla will advertise. The question is, when's the right time to pull the trigger? What's the right amount to do it? So like when Isa is saying $200 a car, that's not going to make a buyer's difference between $200 a car.
No, it's not.
If we say like the car is going to cost $5,000 extra, then fine. Advertising is probably not going to make sense then.
No, here's the thing. The question is when.
Yeah.
It should be a year ago, before you start having problem with demand. Now, when I say demand, I'm talking about at the current price, Tesla very easily can project their demand because they can see the orders in real time.
Yeah, no other car manufacturer can do it.
They can see the orders coming in real time, and they can see the production level going up at how many units per week.
Yes.
So they can very easily tell. And I believe maybe it's the stubbornness, I don't know. Sometimes every business gets into a certain mindset and it's very hard to change. And then I also believe Tesla was caught off guarded that their demand didn't grow faster than they thought they might. In a sense, because if you see quarter one and third quarter, and I would say third quarter of last year is when they start to see that issue. When I start to, as an investor, that's when I start to see that issue. That they already have a demand issue as the Berlin starts to ramp up. And Tesla China already stagnated. We already seen Tesla China stagnated for quite a long while. I think that's the time when they should have already started educating people on this. So my main thing is, if you ask me to target one particular audience, it's the safety audience, because especially if they are trying to sell as many Model Ys as they can, that is a family car, right?
Yes.
So a lot of families are buying this car. I would target the safety and push this thing in, show certain clips of how Tesla survived crashes and stuff like that. Even 30-second clip, but it keeps getting into your mind, right? Tesla, safest car. Tesla, safest car. By far, like you get T-bone, you fall off a cliff. I don't know if you want to use that clip falling off the cliff, because people might just drive off the cliff and test it out. So no, but they could do like dummies and all that, right?
That's right.
So there's a lot of things Tesla can do to brand themselves, like how Volvo did. Those days, Volvo was very expensive and it's ugly as hell. It's a box. Everybody, I grew up knowing that it's ugly, but I want to buy it because it's safe, right? So I believe Tesla could increase their TAM, the total addressable market, by providing the knowledge to people who are not really in tune. Why do you see blockbuster movie doing so much advertising, In the forums of the movies, the same questions always come out. Why do Marvel and Disney spend so much money advertising? Everybody knows Spider-Man. Everybody knows. Why do you think they advertise? Because outside of this echo chamber, the regular movie-going folks don't care.
That's right.
They are just walking around, they see a billboard. That sounds like a good movie to bring my kids to this weekend. So there are a lot of people that are, in fact, for every one movie buff, there are actually 10 people who are just regular people who might or might not see a movie. They care or don't care, but when you advertise, you give them good trailer, you bring them in. And when you bring them in and they really like it, then the word of mouth also have a bigger base to start.
So
Right.
bottom line, you believe that Tesla should have started advertising even as early as last year?
As early as I think first quarter of last year.
Okay.
The moment they saw
Yeah.
China stagnating. And don't forget, plastering all this around the world costs more or less the same. But as you sell more and more cars, the unit cost for advertising also goes down.
That's right.
You don't really have to ramp up. As once you have plastered it all over the world for 150, 200, 300 million, that's it. That's the number that you need to continue. You need to drive this through year after year. And if you look at Teslas, their next gen cars, the argument is, well, we have the next gen which is going to be cheaper. But that car is not coming for another 2 years. Maybe 2025 when they start getting the line ready. And then as with all Teslas, you still have a ramp up period.
Correct.
So you have another 2 years of ramp up period. So that car is not going to come and save Tesla. So how much is Tesla going to reduce until they have zero margin, like Elon is saying, which is very possible at this point? This is why I think advertising is one avenue to increase demand to the non-Tesla echo chamber.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'll close this with a few parting thoughts of my own. I believe that Tesla and Elon often play the long game. And they've said, even this quarter's earnings call, that they're fine with much lower hardware margins because they aim to go all in with autonomy, full self-driving, and make back the margins on software. But that's a choice they choose to make. It may or may not play out. As investors, you can make your own decisions, how much conviction you have on that. Elon Musk companies have advertised. So if you follow SpaceX, Starlink does advertise in multiple markets, in Australia, in other places like Japan as well. So it's not that they won't advertise. I strongly believe that Tesla will start advertising eventually. I've worked in advertising for 10 years myself. I sell advertising for a living. It clearly works, otherwise people won't be spending money on it. So let us know down in the comments, what do you think Tesla should do about advertising? Should they start now, next year, tomorrow? $200 per car sounds like a decent spread. And when they have the next generation car, when they're selling 5 million cars a year, even $100 a car is double the advertising budget already.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's $500 million at 5 million cars. So I think advertising is a big topic. Tesla takes a lot of pride right now. A lot of Tesla bulls take a lot of pride right now, saying, see, this is the biggest company in the world without advertising. But does it hurt to advertise? Advertising is a tool. It can be used for good and bad. And I believe that Tesla can use advertising much better than many other companies.
Can I say something? Now, again, let's not forget that what I'm advocating is education, rather than just the splash advertising you see for other car companies. It's not a call to buy, because I think for something as big as this, as a car, people don't make decisions instantly. But it's more of a long-term building up the knowledge base of I believe the 90% of the population is still quite blurred about EVs in general.
Fair.
That's why you see anti-EV channels are getting millions of views. Do you know that? That's this. I sometimes go and check out all these anti-EV channels. They are getting more views than the EV channels on YouTube. Because people are still very ignorant. I'm not saying they're stupid here, right? I'm just saying they're ignorant about the knowledge about EVs in general.
Thank you so much for the thought-provoking discussion here. There are many ways to educate. Some people believe that word of mouth is always the most credible way of educating someone. But we need scale. Isa and I can't be talking to every single Malaysian in Kuala Lumpur today. Advertising can. So every tool is available. Let us know what you think. If you found this video useful, please click the like button. You want to learn more about Tesla, his thoughts here, a lot of good threads here, follow Ether. Elon Musk has also commented on Ether's post recently as well.
Yeah.
Slowly getting traction. May Musk also, so one day, he's going to be a celebrity.
Oh, his brother also.
Oh, his brother also, Kimball.
Yeah, his brother.
Congratulations. So click subscribe to stay updated to more videos on Tesla.